Sometimes life is messy. Have you ever wished you could refocus your mind, home, relationships, and work life? Join us as we use research-based information to make practical changes and simplify life. This is Life Simplified.
Welcome to Life Simplified. This is Amanda. I'm going to be your host for this final session of 75 pieces of life advice from adults older than 50 who live in Kentucky. So if you have not listened to the first 3 episodes, please do so. Go back, listen to them. There's so much good knowledge and information and wisdom has been shared over the past 3 episodes. So take some time, go back, and again, make some notes. We're going to again put this in the show notes. So if you want to reference it later on. So we are going to start with number 56, and then we're going to finish out through 75. So hang in there with us. We're almost there. You don't want to miss the last few because they are going to be really great. The first one we're going to go through today, number 56, judge a person by what they do, not what they say. We could just leave that there. No words necessary. You know, I feel like that's definitely something to live by. And I find myself.
Yeah, I think we can say anything, but when push comes to shove, the follow through, the action, that is what really matters. And that's what people really remember. So I think it's important for us to remember to judge other people by their actions, not what they say, but also know I'm being judged by what I do, not what I say. So if I say I'm going to do something, I need to follow through. Or if I say kindness is important to me, I need to show kindness. And the way we behave matters.
Number 47, be grateful to the young folks who hold doors open for a white-haired person.
I'm grateful for the folks that hold a door open for all the peoples.
Right. Yes. No matter color, hair, it's important. I think it's definitely something that we want to instill in our littles. And I just think, you know, it's a tradition. Some people may see it as, you know, just old school or whatever it is, but I feel like that's just but we do live in the South, but I feel like that's a good character asset to build.
It's a simple kindness. I think it's so easy, but I have a pet peeve we must talk about. The caveat is if someone holds the door open for you, just say thank you. Common courtesy is to just acknowledge that someone stood there, took the time to help you out, make your day.
So number 50, there is no replacement for longtime friends. And I think we have covered that multiple times over the past 3 episodes. And not to diminish that. I mean, it's a good life lesson. And I think that it's something we need to invest our time in and developing those relationships like we've talked about.
Well, and it just goes to show how important that is. We've talked about retirement multiple times. We've talked about friendship multiple times. So those are clearly things that are important. And while, you know, sometimes you don't get to see your bestie every single day, depending on what stage of life you're in, but think about the times when you do get to see them and when you get to talk to them and you are able to do those things. Like your day is just lifted, like everything feels so much better. So friendship is important.
The next one is also a very important one, although it can be hard, right? Hug your spouse often, not that part, and never go to bed angry. That's the part I'm talking.
She's like, it's really hard to hug my spouse.
That part. Never go to bed angry. I think that is important to just kind of let it go. And I'm sure Tina can share some insight in her mental health background and all those things.
I like this, and it's very twofold. So hug your spouse often. I 100% agree with this. Multiple times a day, I will hug my spouse. And I actually think that there's some research, and I can't quote it right now, so I'm sorry, but that if you hug your person for so many seconds, and it means like not just like a quick like pat on the back, but a legitimate embrace, it actually like releases endorphins and you feel better and you feel good, you feel more connected. It's a good thing. Like, hug your person often and hug them well. Not everybody gets to get in our space, but this is one person in your life that probably it should be okay for them to get in your space. But then the never go to bed angry. I have multiple feelings about this. So one, I agree. I don't think we want to go to bed in an ultimately really bad place. But I do think sometimes, and it's not often, but every once in a while, there are situations where there has been a disagreement, a miscommunication, a big hurt that sometimes we can't work it out before we go to bed. And we're in and going head to head all night long is probably not going to make any ground. Sometimes we need a timeout, if you will, to kind of process our emotions, think through it. And actually we process feelings in our sleep too. Like, that's why that saying sleep on it, because sometimes we sleep on it and we wake up feeling better. So there can be times when you need to not try and resolve something before you go to bed. But I still agree with I'm not going to go to bed so angry that I can't tell you I love you, that I can't sleep in the same room with you, that I can't even look at your face. But sometimes knowing, like, okay, I still love you. We're going to go to bed, and let's let ourselves process, sleep, regain our energy, and then we're going to come back tomorrow. So there's a difference between I'm so mad at you that I'm not going to talk to you and I'm going to avoid you versus we're not going to make any headway today. So I like that, but be mindful that some situations require a little bit of rest before we can really make any progress.
The next one, travel as much as you are able to and for as long as you can.
Yes, 100%.
I'd say we all
Yeah.
agree with this one. We like to travel. Not always able to do everything that we would like to do, but I like to see things. There's several things that I would like to take the girls to be able to see, making those memories like we talked about, rather than all the stuff in the last episode,
Right.
but just I like this one. It's like there's so much to see, and we get sometimes we don't really think about that because this is what we see every day, and there's different places, there's different cultures to be introduced to, like just a lot. I want to be able to do this.
And I don't think, like, for some people, they're like, well, I can't afford that. I can't do that. I don't think travel has to be far away or has to be expensive. Travel can just be like, let me just get out of my town. Let me just stay somewhere. Let me change my environment just a little bit. And I think it's important because for me, I know when I get away, whether it is an hour down the road or across an ocean, that is when I can truly relax and rest. I have to be out of my environment. Like, I know staycations are good, and if that's the best you can do it, because it's better than nothing. But sometimes I need to be out of that environment. I need to be away from the things that distract my mind and keep me stressed. So just getting away for a little bit, no matter where it is, can help reset.
But we had a series of episodes, I believe it was last June, about traveling through Kentucky.
Mhm.
So that's something to check out if you don't want to go far or don't have the time to go very far, explore your state.
So the next one, number 61, let's agree to disagree on some matters and remain the best of friends.
I love it.
Mhm.
I
do
like
too.
this one a lot because you do not have to agree with everything that your friend says in order to continue to remain friends. And we're not going to discuss politics because that's not what we do here. But I think this is a big hot topic with politics, and I think that you can have different viewpoints and still be friends.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so I've said it before, and I think this is another good example for people that are not sure what this looks like. Again, this is empathy. Like you don't think of this as empathy, but this is empathy. Me saying, I understand that my view that I see the world through is not the same lens, it's not the same window, it's not the whatever that everyone else sees it through. And I'm going to understand that their view is what it is because of the experiences they have had and what they have been through. And that doesn't make them right or wrong. It doesn't make me right or wrong, but I can understand them, I can respect them, and we can still move forward. I think if I have to agree on 100% of things with someone for them to be my friend, then I think we're both missing the mark. And how do we learn and grow if we don't ever speak with and hang out with people that have had a different life experience or views than ourselves? It helps us expand and understand people, and it helps us be able to be a more kind and well-rounded individual.
All right, so here's one. I'm interested to see. I'm mixed on this one. I don't know. So, do everything you want to do before you have children. So, I don't know. Like my husband and I, we waited a little bit later in life to have kids, which I think is probably more of a common theme. I think maybe there is a shift coming where people have kids younger, whatever people want to do. So we did do a little bit of traveling and things like that before we had kids, but I don't know about the everything part. Maybe not hang up on that. I don't know. What do you all think?
Yeah, this is a mixed bag. And I think it's so personal and so different for everybody. And I don't like that word everything. Like, first of all, I'm not going to do everything I want to do before I have children because I have so many things I want to do for my entire life. So we'll just negate the everything, anyways. I think there are some things you can do before you have kids that you might want to embrace that time. I don't think that it's right or wrong either way because I look back on there are things I wish I had embraced the time that I had alone with my spouse before we started a family. And I don't think I realized how much I should enjoy that and really embrace that. But at the same time, I would not go back and put off starting my family when I did. It worked for us. It took longer than we expected. So if I had waited, it would have just pushed things back and it might have looked different. It is what it is. I say enjoy your life and do the things you want to do before kids, during kids, and after your kids leave the nest. I mean, live your life and enjoy every moment. And sometimes it's hauling children and all of the things that they have with them with you. And sometimes it's taking a break from them. And sometimes it's, on either end of life. I think about it this way. If you have your kids really young, then you're busy and you've got a lot going on and there's not always a lot of freedom of that in the front end, but then they grow up and you're still fairly young and you enjoy things once they're grown. Or you wait a little while and you enjoy that freedom on the front end while you're a little bit younger, and then you enjoy your kids and grandkids as you age. Either way can be a beautiful experience.
I like what you said about that, the enjoying the stage that you're in, enjoying life. I think that life doesn't stop when you have children. Priorities shift, things change. I was married later in life, and I married into a family where my husband already had children. So we didn't have that time together before children. So we were jumping right into it. We're raising kids, and then we will have that time afterwards, but we still do things that we enjoy. So while I didn't have that space of time to travel with my spouse alone or anything like that, we still are able to do that. And we will be when both of our children are grown. So I think it can go either way.
I think so too. I think it's the everything. We're all like, we're kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah, hung up on that one word.
Is that attainable, everything? No, but
No.
Right.
all right. The next one, enjoy your time. It goes fast. I have a coworker and I always think about her every time I think about time. She always says time is a thief. And I'm like, how true is that? Everything goes by so quickly. And it goes back to those relationships we talked about and spending time with your parents. I feel like that really encompasses a lot of what we've talked about so far.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where like there's only a finite amount of time. Like we know in a day, there's 24 hours. We're not going to get more. We're not going to get less. That is what it is. But also, like, we don't personally know how much time we get. So every moment is precious because we don't know what the next moment brings and what the next moment is. And so I think for me, when I read this, enjoy your time, it goes fast. It reminded me of back at the beginning of the year when we were all kind of talking, maybe not necessarily New Year's resolutions, but kind of like, what do you want to do? And I said, like, I want to love my life. And I think that's what this is. I think enjoying your time, it goes fast. It's just like love your life, love all the moments. Love the coffee in the morning, love the music and dancing in your kitchen, love all of the things, whether it seems silly and mundane and whatever to someone else, you can enjoy all of it. Now, some of it is tough, some of it doesn't feel great, some of it is stuff we just have to do because we have to do it, but there still can be joy in those things. And I think just trying really hard to love your life in every moment that you're gifted.
All right, I want to take a poll. Make your bed every morning.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
So we try. One of us will make the bed. Now, sometimes someone will make it and throw half the covers on it and half they're off, but it's like halfway made. I don't know what that means, but it's at least half made every day.
No, I never
Made
made
Now,
it.
some days, no, it's not. Like I admit, it's not every single day, but it is something I try to do.
I make my bed when I wash the sheets and put them back on it.
Correct. Or if I know I'm having company over, like I know people are coming
Yeah.
over for, like, I'll make the bed. But if you just pop in, guess what? That bed ain't gonna be made for you because I didn't know you was showing up, so it ain't happening.
I might just shut my door.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, I don't care. I didn't make my bed. Sorry. I'm gonna get right back in it here in a couple hours. So
So this one I want a sticker to put on in my kitchen. I just want a sticker. If you open it, close it. If you get it out, put it away. Can we just agree that that should be somewhere in every room of our house?
Yes.
I mean, I may need to tattoo it on my kids.
Right. I was like,
Like
I
a
need a giant sign.
lot permanent, but it would help.
Definitely.
Yes, yes. I have two teenagers and then an elementary school age child. And there's constantly things out, wrappers, glasses. There are so many cups on my island in my kitchen that I think there are people living at my house that I'm unaware of. Like, why? There's three of you, but there's 8 cups. Why?
The the cups. Yes. Everywhere.
Just why?
Mm.
And odd cheese wrappers, like the cheese sticks. Why? Why are they everywhere in my house?
Your kids be eating a lot of cheese. They
Oh,
like it.
I'm just like, and then I'll be like, could you throw that away? It's not mine. I didn't bring it in.
I
Well, you
didn't
know
do
what?
it.
I didn't make the mess for 90% of the things I pick up in this house. Just throw the thing in the trash can.
We have water bottles. And mind you, there's only about one person in this household that drinks out of these water bottles. And I'm like, hey, there's a water bottle. It's not mine. Are you sure? You're the only one that drinks them. It is yours.
Yeah, this is a
Mhm.
problem. This is clearly an issue. Perhaps we need an entire episode on discussing if you open it, close it, if you take it out, put it back.
I think we can definitely do that.
Mhm.
All right. The next one I think is very good information. Don't quit too soon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think about that a lot though when I'm like at my breaking point and I'm like, I'm just done with this. I'm always like, oh, but what if I was right on the edge of change or right on the
Hmm.
edge of something different or of an answer or of a solution, like something, Because you don't want to be that person that was like, I gave up. And then the next day it was like, well, there you go. The miracle
Yeah.
came up and I quit a moment too soon.
So I like this one. And I'm thinking about my friendships. I feel like I do pretty good at this. Develop friendships with people of all ages.
Yes.
I love that. I
I
love
do
that
too.
just thinking about, and it's like this, what we're doing now, like the 75 things for people who are over 50. Like, think of all this knowledge and these wisdoms and these tips that you wouldn't get if were didn't have friends that were this age or whatever age you are, older than you are. And then thinking about young on the other end, the younger ones, how can you share this information and instill some of these things and give them tips and tricks and the wisdom that you've learned?
Yeah, I think it makes me think of my office dynamics right now. Like we have a like wide range of ages and like my favorite people, like I love them all so much and we have so much fun because we're so vastly different. Like we have a couple that are very Gen Z, fresh out of college, very, very young and fresh and like just starting their journey as adults. And then, myself, I'm like right in the middle, like just living here in middle age, with all the things and the kids and the husband and all, and then like one of my best friends is older and her kids are starting to have kids, so she's becoming a grandmother and she's living that. And I think it's so fun to be able to chat with each other and like throw ideas off each other and help. I think what it really helps is it helps us as we're trying to navigate our relationships at home with different ages. We can get perspective from each other. And so that's really nice to help us remember, like, oh, remember what it was like being fresh out of school and just getting started. Remember what it's like to have this, or think about what our parents or our in-laws are feeling and thinking and the things they're going through. And it's so good to have people that are in different places and living different experiences as us, because it helps us remember to be mindful and aware that everyone is experiencing things and we can relate better.
So this next one, I'd like for someone to tell my children, protect your skin with sunscreen. So as I'm trying to rub my kid down, we've already started sunscreen this year, and it's a challenge, but I try to live by this because I know the dangers of what the sun can do to your skin. So I definitely think this is 100% life to life rule.
It's a must. It's also why going to the pool and beach with little kids is not super fun, because sunscreen takes about 5 weeks to put on, and then you go outside and 3 minutes in they're hot and they want to come back in, and then you go back out and have to do it all over again. So it is fun time to get this on everyone, but it's so necessary. And I for one am like a hat, umbrella, sunscreen. Like my family makes fun of me, but I ain't trying to burn.
Right. Well, yes, I agree with this 100% as well. I do remember the time though, when I didn't care about it as much. And I feel like the other ladies in the room also have experienced the baby oil era, but I very much am in the stage of life where I'm like, if I can't get under that canopy, I'm not going.
Right. Like I need some shade, and the hat is staying on, and the glasses are staying on, and all the things. But yes, no, I didn't do the baby oil. I was much
Uh,
more responsible. I
good
had the
job.
Hawaiian Tropics with SPF 4 in it, and I was
Oh, well, there you go. So
knocking
much
those
better.
UV rays out with that there. You
Yeah,
know,
not much.
Was a
Or
thing? SPF 4?
SPF 4. I don't. I think they were like we spit in it, and it had some
it,
UV protection.
it
I don't
helped you a
know.
little bit.
It did nothing.
Yeah. So
It
I
did. It made you shiny and greasy. It was kind of weird. It was
yeah,
not. It was not good. Don't do that. But
don't
I
do
think
that.
really for our for mine, and I think Ashley, you're with
Me.
me.
Yep, I'm
But
there.
the tanning beds, our generation had the
Oh,
tanning
Yeah.
beds, and I think that was pre like them realizing this also gives you cancer, folks. And so we
mm-hmm.
would go and be like, I gotta get a nice base before I go
Mm-hmm.
to the beach, and all we were doing is like, here, let me encourage my cancer quicker. So sunscreen,
Yeah.
natural sun, but put your sunscreen on, and yeah,
We know better, we do better.
exactly.
Yes, exactly right. All right, number 69. I was told face your fears and do it anyway.
Yeah, I think I like the phrase like do it afraid.
Yes.
Like you're
Mhm.
always gonna be afraid. Like there's gonna be fear in any challenge or any whatever, but just do it afraid.
Okay, so this is, I think Tiffany's, whoever wrote this is on her vibe, or maybe she wrote this one. I don't know. Pack light, you will never regret it.
She makes me pack light every trip. We have to do a carry-on.
This is hilarious.
I
I might,
aspire to be this way. Am I this way? No. But maybe one day I'll be on Tiffany's level.
Tiffany, I might regret not bringing that workout gear to that one
Yeah, we've
conference.
never used once in over a decade, but the time we don't bring it will be the time we. No, y'all listen. First of all, let's just be honest. If you are going to the airport, if you don't have to check luggage, your life is going to be much smoother. And I mean, you just get in and out of there quicker. So that's one gift. But also, like, if I'm a reformed overpacker. Okay. So I used to do the overpacking and then I'd come home and I'd be like, why do I still have a week's worth of clothes I didn't utilize at all? That wasn't necessary. And it just took time. So a few years back, the husband and I were like, okay, we are going to carry on. Like we've got this. And I think I've got it pretty close to down to a science at this point. So then I brought along the friends. I was like, guess what, guys? We're not gonna check anything. We're gonna carry on everything. And they looked at me like I was crazy, but it works. It's good. And fun fact, I'm leaving later this week for a vacation with the whole family, and we're driving, which is rare because I hate driving, but we're doing it because finances. But my kids are bringing friends with them. So my big car that normally I can fit everything is going to have lots of people and then it's going to need lots of things. So I had the daughter grab every carry-on size suitcase or duffel we owned and we took it outside and we did car Tetris so that we could see exactly how much luggage we could fit in said vehicle with the third row completely up. And I'm happy to report I was able to fit 6 carry on rolling pieces of luggage and 3 duffel bags. So I then very promptly texted the mother of the two that are going with us because they're siblings. And I was like, hey, I did a test run and we're going to be good, but they can either bring a duffel bag or they can bring a carry on bag, but just one. So we're going to make this happen. We're going to do this. But it's true. You know, you won't regret it. You'll have less you have to haul around.
I
Or you forget
agree.
something.
The hardest part is shoes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
give you that. The shoes is the one that'll stump you.
I just got the
Yes.
fear like I'm going to forget something or I'm going to spill something all down my shirt. And hey, I only have 2 shirts and this is it. I just got the fear.
So my answer for that is if it's a true emergency, we will just go buy it.
And
Like
shove it
other
in the
than your
bag.
medication, other than medicine or your cell phone, anything else we can pretty much we'll go get it. We will find a way to get that item.
I aspire. That'll be on my list that I might do.
It is so much easier to unpack. And once you can get kind of past it, which she's like, oh, yeah, you have a choice. You can go check your luggage if you want. But no, that is really, she's not giving me a choice. It's a fake
Yes,
choice,
I will
If you
get
take too much time, I'll leave you behind.
right? Like I'm not staying there with you. No, I'm just kidding. She would.
now. If you're okay, there are some circumstances like if you're flying to a winter destination or you're skiing or something, those clothes take up more space. You're probably gonna have to check something. But if we're doing a beach vacation, that clothes don't take up much space, and you're gonna
No, no.
be at the pool most of the time. So get you a few little sundresses and some sandals and roll.
So the next one is love your age all the time. Growing old is not something that everyone gets to experience. I think like that's another great one.
I think it's super valuable to look at it that way, and I think it can be hard because I think our society and social media doesn't necessarily appreciate age as much as we would like, because everything's anti-age this and tighten that, and it makes you feel self-conscious. So it can be hard aging, but I think it's also what I try to tell people is like there is only one other option. And I would prefer to age all day long than to not get to experience life and my people and the things. So embrace it, love it. Oh, perfect. Hold on. I sent the husband something the other day because he had a birthday a couple weeks ago. And then, I mean, we are at the age we're thinking about things. We feel it. We're getting older. Our kids are getting older and hitting big milestones. But I saw this the other day and it says, and I love it. And he was like, this is so cool. Where did you get this? It says, there is a version of yourself 10 years from now that is begging this version of yourself to enjoy where you currently are just a little bit more. And so I try to we try to remind each other of that. It's like, yeah, we're not as young as we once were. Maybe we don't look or feel the way we once looked or felt, but there's a version of me 10 years from now that is like, why aren't you embracing that? So do that. Embrace where you are now, because again, it's a gift, and there's a version of you that will look back on whatever age you are today and say, why did you not enjoy that more?
All right, the next one, which I think kind of, I mean, it really ties into a lot of things that we've talked about and a lot of things we have talked about in future podcasts. And that's love yourself. And I think that ties into, giving yourself grace, living in the moment, like you were talking about, enjoy that time that you have, those experiences where you're at in your life, but just generally loving yourself. And when I think of that, I think of giving yourself grace. Really, I feel like that should be kind of tagged at the end of that, just because, we traditionally are harder on ourselves than we are anybody else.
I think we definitely are harder on ourselves than anyone else, but I also think all of our life experiences, our choices, we mess up. We do things we wouldn't necessarily do again, but it makes us who we are. And if we learn from it and grow from it and change from it, then it did what it was meant to do. Like we're all constantly learning and growing. Our kids do it every day. Every time that we correct them, it's because we want them to learn so they can make a better choice next time. So love yourself. You're doing the best you can in the moment, and you get another go at it in the next moment.
I also feel like this next one kind of ties in with the theme that we've heard on quite a few of these, but I would like to add something at the end.
Okay.
So, 73, be conservative with your purchases. You won't want all that stuff when you get older. And I think I would put, and your kids don't either.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yes,
Oh,
I do
stuff.
think that's good.
Yeah. And we've talked about that in other episodes too, and just being mindful of what you're buying, living within your means, and yeah, I like that one. Because what are
Well,
you gonna do with all the stuff?
right. And I think now hear me out because I like some things. Okay. I like stuff, some stuff, and I do love a good name brand, a good designer, something every now and then. But I think it's okay, if it's stuff that truly oh, this makes me feel good. Like this gives me some joy. I use it, and when I use it or I wear it or it make it makes me feel happy. Or there's just that stuff that we just bought on a whim. It's like I just need a new something. Like all of a sudden today, I just need a new outfit for no reason. Do I really? No, maybe I'm just feeling down and it makes me feel better. I think knowing is this stuff helpful? Is this stuff positive in your life? Or does it bog you down and weigh you down and make you feel overwhelmed?
Two more left, and I think they're going to be great ones. Number 74, be kind and generous to those less fortunate. I have never missed a dime that I've given to someone who needed it more than I.
That's a good one. Kindness goes a long way.
It definitely does.
We've talked about kindness a lot over the last 3 episodes.
Yeah. And generosity.
All right, we made it. We made it to
Let's hear it.
75.
What is
Here it is. I hope you're all ready, listeners. Get off your high horse and stay grounded. What a way to end our 75 life lessons to people from Kentucky over 50.
No, I like this. I think it's honestly, I think it's an old saying. Like
It
I don't
definitely
hear a
is.
lot of people say get off your high horse or whatever anymore. But to me, like I immediately went to social media and everybody kind of has a soapbox now. And everybody wants to tell people what's right or what's wrong or their opinion or their whatever. And like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't, the world doesn't need to know what I think about all the things.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this awesome series. Hopefully you got some good life lessons or just some little nuggets to take with you as you go through your life on the 75 things that people from Kentucky had shared who are over the age of 50 and that they wanted to pass on to the next generation. So hopefully you've learned a little bit of something and you can visit this again. We're going to put it in the show notes. So if you want to share it with someone or if you want to put it up somewhere and kind of keep that list going, we encourage you to do so. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this month of series and I hope you join us again. This is Life Simplified.
Thanks for listening to Life Simplified. We are family and consumer sciences agents with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. Contact us at lifesimplifiedpodcast@gmail.com.